Papoose recently sat down for an interview with DJ Vlad on Vlad TV, and during the conversation he didn't hold back when addressing the ongoing tension surrounding his issues with 50 Cent, as well as speaking openly about his relationship with Claressa Shields. The discussion quickly turned toward the controversy that had been circulating online, particularly the claims made by 50 Cent, who accused Shields of being unfaithful to Papoose with an allegedly G-Unit affiliated artist known as Maserati Bud. Rather than avoiding the topic, Papoose chose to confront the situation directly, offering his side of the story in a calm but firm manner that made it clear he was not rattled by the accusations. According to Papoose, Claressa Shields had already come to him and spoken about the situation involving Maserati Bud before 50 Cent ever decided to bring it into the public eye. While he did not go into detail about exactly what was said in that conversation, he emphasized that there were no surprises for him when the allegations surfaced online. That point alone seemed to serve as a foundation for his confidence in shutting down the cheating narrative. He made it clear that from his perspective, there was no betrayal involved, and he further supported that stance by pointing out that Maserati Bud himself had denied any kind of intimate involvement with Shields. By highlighting that denial, Papoose reinforced his position that the situation had been exaggerated and distorted, turning something private into a spectacle that did not reflect reality. As the conversation continued, Papoose shifted his focus toward 50 Cent's broader pattern of behavior, suggesting that this wasn't an isolated incident, but rather part of a larger tendency to make bold claims without fully backing them up. To illustrate his point, he brought up 50 Cent's past conflict with Big Meech, noting how 50 had publicly accused Meech of being a snitch, but had never followed through on releasing the paperwork he once claimed he would provide as proof. In Papoose's view, this was another example of 50 Cent speaking aggressively but failing to substantiate his statements when it mattered most. The implication was clear. Papoose sees a pattern of accusations being used more for attention and narrative control than for presenting verified truths. Despite the heated nature of the situation, Papoose also made it a point to clarify that he doesn't have any personal issue with Maserati Bud himself. He admitted that he doesn't really know him, and because of that, he chose not to speak on him directly or escalate things further in that direction. Instead, his primary focus remained on addressing what he sees as the root of the issue: 50 Cent's role in amplifying and possibly manufacturing the controversy. In doing so, Papoose maintained a level of composure that suggested he was more interested in clearing his name and protecting his relationship than in fueling unnecessary conflict. Perhaps the most pointed moment in the interview came when Papoose accused 50 Cent of using the entire situation as a distraction. He referred to it as a fake distraction, implying that the controversy was intentionally stirred up to take attention away from something else. Specifically, a diss he had previously directed at 50 Cent, titled Agent Provocateur. By framing it this way, Papoose suggested that the timing and intensity of the accusations were not coincidental, but rather part of a calculated move to shift the narrative and avoid addressing his own criticisms. This perspective added another layer to the ongoing feud, transforming it from a simple exchange of accusations into a more strategic battle over public perception and influence. Papoose also briefly touched on the possibility of Claressa Shields taking legal action in response to the accusations, though he chose not to elaborate on any specifics. Even without going into detail, the mere mention of potential legal consequences signaled that the situation could extend beyond social media drama and into more serious territory. It underscored the idea that, while the public may view these disputes as entertainment, there are real reputations and personal lives at stake behind the scenes. In a lighter moment during the interview, the tone shifted when DJ Vlad made a joke suggesting that Papoose might be physically afraid to break up with Claressa Shields, given her status as one of the most accomplished boxers in the world. The comment drew laughter from both of them, offering a brief pause from the tension and highlighting a more humorous side of the conversation. Even so, the joke subtly acknowledged Shields' formidable presence, both in and out of the ring, and added an interesting dynamic to the way their relationship is perceived by outsiders.